everybody. Good morning. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe. The Empower is where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Big ups to all my subscribers. Again, I want to thank you, all the ladies, all my guys, for still being a part of my movement, still being faithful, loyal subscribers. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. Ladies, if you have not already subscribed to my Mocha's Ladies Lounge channel, please make sure that you do so. As a matter of fact, I should be uploading something today over there. So make sure, ladies, you subscribe to my Mocha's Ladies Lounge, ladies content only channel. So, I wanted to discuss this particular issue at hand, and I will first start off by saying, I am not a fan or a foe of Kevin Samuels. I'm not either one. I do not watch his content, and I am not subscribed to his channels. So, I'll start off by saying that. So I'm definitely not clout chasing. And I really don't have too much negative to say, referring to Kevin Samuels. It is what it is. But I've been in the YouTube clouds, and I have been doing a couple of drive-bys in some of these man spaces. And it appears to me that there are a lot of men, grown men at that are very triggered by Mr. Samuel's success. And they're making it more and more evident based on how emotional and angry they are that Kevin Samuels has become a blow-up success overnight. And it's starting to really trigger a lot of the men, especially in the Manosphere, because the unfortunate part was, he was one of the guys and part of the movement that nobody never even would imagine to become so successful. Nobody never even imagined that he would be the one that once he got to that ladder of success that would have the amount of subscribers that he has. No one never imagined in the Manosphere that Kevin Samuels would be the one that turned out to become more successful than all of them. And I say all that to say this, and I don't get in men's business, but the reason I felt needed to opinionate on it is because what a lot of these men are not understanding is sometimes in many cases, you could put somebody on to your brand. You could put somebody on to your success. You could put somebody on to your dream, your job. And the chance you take is that that person can possibly outshine you. And you got to be prepared to take that L. You have to be prepared to take that L. Some people just have that spark that makes people gravitate towards them. I'll never forget a girlfriend of mine put me on to a security job. And she had been there longer than me. She knew the job well. Everybody, all the residents, all the employees at a particular facility, all of them was very familiar with her. I mean, she was a very good employee, very phenomenal security officer. She knew her job very well. However, when I got there, I didn't have the experience that she had. I had to learn as I went. I didn't build all type of bonds with the residents and the employees like she did. But when I got there, I became just as good at the job as she did. Now, don't get me wrong. She taught me a lot of stuff. She taught me the ropes. She taught me, how to do my job effectively. She gave me a lot of pointers. She gave me a lot of tips. She showed me a lot of shortcuts to things when I was doing it the long and hard way. So she gave me all of the tools I needed in order to be successful in that position. However, what ended up happening was during my duration in that position, for whatever reason, I started to stand out more in that job. And I'm not saying this to brag or to make myself, look like I seem like I was better than her. But I will say that I'm a people person, and I have that personality where people who are around me, people who come in contact with me, once they've been in my presence, for a while, or they come into my presence frequently, I just have that type of vibe where people vibe with me instantly. People gravitate towards me. People draw a liking for me. Now, I'm not saying this is the case with everybody. I've had some people who been around me and didn't like me from the start for whatever reason. But for the most part, I've always had that type of personality where people gravitate towards me. She, on the other hand, she was great at what she did. Matter of fact, she was better in her job, but her personality did not stand out, did not spark. She was not very approachable. She did not have that sociable, welcoming, inviting attitude or vibe in which people felt comfortable coming to her a lot. Where people, saw something in her that made them gravitate towards her. She was a cool person, but she just did not have that personality. Some people have a personality. Some people have a certain type of persona. Some people carry a certain type of spirit or a certain type of vibe where it makes people just like them. And she didn't have that. Only people who personally knew her liked her. But as far as an average person in general, coming to the security gate, 9 times out of 10, they want to talk to me because I was the one who had the personality. I was the one that was very bubbly and outgoing. And she could never understand that, and even though she put me on and she taught me a lot, it made her feel some type of way. And I'm sure that is what's going on with a lot of the guys in the Manosphere, which is why a lot of them are pretty much in their feelings, because they remembered once upon a time when Kevin Samuels was a nobody, when he was irrelevant. I won't say a nobody because we all are somebody in our own way. But Kevin Samuels was not as relevant then as he is now. During that time and era, a lot of the guys that are triggered and upset with Kevin Samuels, call him a fraud, call him a phony, these were men once upon a time that were more relevant than him. These were men who brought Kevin Samuels on to their platform before he became this well-known social media influential content creator. They were more well known than he was. So what tends to happen, like what happened in my case, when you reach a certain level of success, people expect you to pay homage. And that is what's really triggering a lot of the men in the manosphere. They're not understanding why Mr. Samuels is not paying homage. They're not understanding why he's not, giving too much recognition to the Manosphere that planted the seed in his success, because the Manosphere did. And they're triggered by that. They're triggered by the fact that, I guess the last Manosphere conference, the meeting, he was a no-show. He didn't partake in the festivities with the Manosphere members. A lot of the men are triggered by that. And this is my whole point. My whole point is Kevin Samuels really does not owe nobody anything. He really does not. That is the chance you take when you put somebody on. And let me tell you something. When people are hungry, when people are starving, they will say anything to get a bite off your plate. When people are hungry, they will make you all kind of promises. Man, if I ever get big, if I ever get successful, if doors open for me, I'm going to put you on. If things work out in my favor, I'm going to make sure I return the favor. People will make all kind of promises when they are starving, when they are hungry. I'll pay you back I'll make sure, I return the favor. I'll make sure I look out. But you got to realize they probably really do mean well at that time when they're starving. He probably meant everything he said. He probably meant, I'm going to pay you this money back. I'm going to make sure you good. I'm going to make sure. At that time, he meant it. However, once money comes into play, people get amnesia. They forget all of those promises. They forget all the obligations. They forget who put them on. They forget when they were starving. And truth be told is, people don't owe you anything. Even if you did put them on, even if you did play a part in their success, even if you did give them relevance when they was irrelevant and you were more relevant than them, regardless of what part you played in the person's success, sometimes, in most cases, you have to take an L. Nobody owes it to you to be obligated to you, because you, out the kindness of your heart, or for whatever reason, you put that person on because you was looking for something in return. Guess what? People have the right to renege. Now, is it fair? No. Is it right? No. But can you do anything about it? Absolutely not. You have a lot of these grown men upset. They are venting and crying and losing sleep like women because they cannot understand how a man who's been preaching the same Manosphere viewpoints that other brothers have been preaching for years, they can't understand how the hell he blew up, how the hell he became so successful. And it's not so much that and I would say to a certain degree, he's probably been taking some viewpoints, but guess what? All content creators do that. All of us take viewpoints and we remix it and we add our own spin, we add our own twist. It's not so much biting a copy of somebody's style, but because the truth of the matter is, a lot of the same topics in the black sector are always being discussed. So you really can't mimic or copycat, because a lot, especially in the Manosphere, the majority of these men have been preaching the same narratives. So it may appear that it may appear like they're stealing each other's talking points, stealing each other's narratives, but really the narratives have been all the same. No one has said anything that really stands out like, oh wow, he's kicking some knowledge we never heard before. Even with me being a content creator, a lot of the things that I have said, coincidentally, I go to view other people's content and I hear them say the same thing. Now I could take it one or two ways. I could take it like, oh, maybe they biting my style, maybe they been to my channel and they heard what I said, and now they're giving their own spin on it and won't give me no shout out, won't give me no recognition. Where in actuality, a lot of us in the black sector have the same similarities in that and knowledge and narratives. We all have different viewpoints and different perspectives, but also a lot of the narratives are pretty much the same. Manosphere has been preaching the same narratives for years, and I don't understand why a lot of these men are getting upset with other men saying, you still in my talking points, you still in my viewpoints. All y'all talk about black female fuckery. So how different are the viewpoints going to be when everybody keeps speaking on the same topics? Now, if you're talking about something totally out the box, if you're talking about auto mechanic, being a professional auto mechanic, and here it is, all of a sudden, this man on his channel has never talked about professional auto mechanics. Now, on his channel, he's talking about auto mechanics. He even got professional auto mechanics on his show, interviewing them and talking to them about the different type of cars, what type of cars are worth working on, what type of cars that people shouldn't be investing in. Now, that's biting. That's mimicking, that's stealing somebody's style. If all of a sudden you change your narrative and you're talking about something totally different, now this content creator is talking about the same thing. Now that's a different story. But I'm not understanding why the majority of these men in the manosphere are sitting up here bickering about somebody sending viewpoints. Y'all all talk about the same thing all the time. You talk about the black female fuckery. You talk about the wigs. You talk about the black women with multiple baby daddies. I mean, how different are the narratives going to be? How different are the viewpoints going to be if everybody is talking about the same thing? All of these guys, no disrespect to their movement, but none of them have discussed anything that really stands out, where you really can't tell one from the other. All of them talk black female fuckery. None of them have their own originality. Now they have their originality as far as how their content, how their videos are edited. Some of them, I really can't tell the difference. Some of them have they may have their different style as far as they have special graphics in their videos. They have special type of just all type of like different type of settings to make their videos stand out a little bit more. But other than that, I know if I go listen to certain guys that's part of the Manosphere movement, I already know what they're going to talk about before I go to their channel. I already know it's going to be something pertaining to black women. I would say you have guys like, I don't think he's part of the Manosphere. I don't know. Like Jada Black. He does. What I do like about Jada Black, he does switch his style up every once in a while. He's not always just talking about black women. He has also called out other women of other races. He's also called out their fuckery. He doesn't just stay addressing black women all the time. I've seen him call out snowflakes who've been gold digging, white women, who's been manipulating and using men that are successful to get to where they are. Not only that, a couple of times Jada Black has also called out men who have done things to cause themselves to get in the position and get used and manipulated by certain women. So he's always taking a different spin. He's not just hitting the same issue all the time. On the other hand, some of the guys in the Manosphere, and I don't listen to all of them. So I don't really listen to none of them. I think I might listen to one or two, but for the most part, most of their success has, most of their notoriety has derived from black female fuckery. And that's cool. I mean, if that's what they would like to do, because truth be told, a lot of women have become successful off of black male fuckery. So that is how the black sector is designed. The black sector is designed to consistently bash one particular gender. That's how your channel grows. That's how you make a name for yourself. You can't be a balanced person, a balanced content creator. Balanced content creators such as myself, we don't get a lot of notoriety because we're not so much choosing sides. In order to get notoriety and popularity, you have to pick a side. You have to either be all for women or you have to be all for men. And if you're all for men, you're a mammy. If you're all for women, you're a man hater. So you really can't win regardless of how you try to do it. It's just one of that's just one of the bittersweet things that come with the territory of being a content creator in the black sector. But back to my point at hand, Kevin Samuels does not owe anybody anything. Now, if it wasn't a kindness of his heart, that once he got up there and made a name for himself, to start putting people on and start, bringing guys onto the platform where they can discuss where they can discuss topics, where he can give these other men an opportunity to shine, give them a chance to promote their brand, give them a chance to, onto their platform, and so to his platform, so that can help their platform to accelerate even further. But Mr. Samuels may be not. I put it this way: Mr. Samuels may not be putting brothers on to his platform for one or two reasons. One or two reasons may be is because even though a lot of these guys, some of them did play a part in Kevin Samuels' success, they planted that seed. They didn't help him to get as big as what he is now. Of course, he did that on his own, off his own merit. But who's to say? Probably before this man became successful, even though these other guys put him in platforms, brought him on panels, and helped him to get a little name and a little recognition. Who's to say that some of these guys didn't do him in? That some of these guys didn't mistreat him, in the process of it. And I say all that not to defend or not defend, because I've been in a situation in which, yes, the girlfriend that I had at the time that put me on to her job, yes, she did put me on, but at the same time, there was a couple of times where she mistreated me. And she had to let me know that she was the reason I was able to maintain my position at the time. You have some people that are like that. You have people that will come out and boo-hoo cry and talk about how, hey, now that you got on, you don't show no love, you don't give no shout outs, you got nothing to do with me. But they don't tell the other side of the story. You have people who will put you on and will help you out, but they mistreat you at the same time. We don't really know what really went on in the background when these brothers supposedly gave Kevin Samuels a little foot through the door. We don't know if he probably done heard them, said some ill things behind his back, and we don't know if they had one or two little squabbles and once or twice, it probably was some shade thrown in there. Yeah, nigga, you got to realize, I'm helping you out. I'm looking out for you. I'm helping you. I didn't have to give you a voice on my platform, on my panel, but I looked out for you and I did that for you. Some people will do stuff for you just so they can remind you of what they have done for you. Now, these are the same ones that go behind your back and cry to everybody else. Well, I helped her. I looked out for her. I helped him out. When nobody even knew who dude was, I was there. I gave him the plight and the platform. Yeah, you did all of that, but at the same time, you probably did some shady stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of people ain't going to tell the whole side of the story. They're just going to explain the part that makes them look good. This could be, and I'm not saying it is, it could be one of the reasons why now that he has reached his, now that he has, climbed the ladder and he has reached his plateau, he may not feel a need to come back and pull these brothers and bring them up to his level, because these probably was the same guys that was saying shady stuff to him. Probably was questioning his sexuality. Probably threw shade up and man, I had to help you get to where you are. You know what I mean? That could be something, and I think a lot of people aren't considering that. That may be the reason he won't go back and bring these guys, pick these brothers up and bring them on to what he's doing, is because maybe some of them, like I said, mistreated them. Or, they did some shady stuff, or they did some foul things behind closed doors that nobody really knows of but him and them. You feel me? So that could be one reason he's not running back to the promised land. And now that he has escaped the plantation and he don't have to pick cotton anymore and he don't have to kiss up to the master, now that he has made it to the big house, you know what I mean? You got these dudes that are acting like slaves on the plantation still picking cotton. Like, when is he gonna come back and set us free? When is he gonna come back and take us to the promised land with him? And Kevin Samuels was like, hell nah, I'm gonna leave y'all Negroes right there still picking cotton. And I'm not a slave. I'm not part of. I'm not under slavery anymore. I'm not under slavery anymore. You know, I got my you know, my free card. You know, I'm a free man. You know, I don't have to pick cotton with y'all anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, that could be the reason. You know, there probably was a lot of mistreatment. You know what I mean? These guys, they're not going to admit to that. They're just going to make it seem like, oh, he just jumped ship. He ain't looking out for us no more. You know what I mean? Ain't no telling what he had to go through with being disrespected. Like I said, they could have been questioning his sexuality. Ain't no telling what he really went through behind closed doors with the Manosphere. And even though they want to, you know, talk about all the wonderful things they did for him, we really don't know, you know what I'm saying, what he had to go through before he was able to come up under them. Because I was in a situation, you know, I had a girlfriend, like I said, who put me on. She had to let me know consistently that she was the reason. Well, I won't say she did it consistently, but when me and her had our first falling out, she had to let me know, had it not been for her. You know what I mean? People will do that. People will put you on so you can keep owing them. Had it not been for me, had it not been for my platform and me extending that olive branch to you, nobody would know who the hell you was. Who want to keep hearing that? You know what I mean? So that may be one reason. Second reason, you know, he may not be wanting to put him on is because let me tell you something. Sometimes, you know, when you're dealing with Negroes who can potentially tarnish or contaminate your brand. Now, keep in mind, like I said, my girlfriend, she was a cool person. She put me on. She gave me that olive branch to help me to be successful in the position as long as I was in. But being that she had a little ratchetness in her character, there was just certain things I could not do for her. Sometimes people can mean well, but some people are just not good for where you are trying to go. Now, keep in mind, I was a fan of the Manosphere. I used to watch a lot of their content. You know, that was when they had that Google Hangout. It was like 7, 8 guys on the panel. I mean, I used to be a fan. I used to enjoy a lot of their content. And once they started letting women come in and infiltrate, you know, once dudes started thirsting, you know, that pretty much changed the dynamics. When they started letting the women come in, it was no longer really the Manosphere at that point. It took away the purpose for what the Manosphere was. And the Manosphere was supposed to be just a place for men to socialize and congregate. And if women wanted to be there, they had to be there in the chat room, in the audience. Not so much on the panel, you know what I mean? They didn't get to partake in, put in their own 3 cents or 5 cents amongst men having a masculine conversation about issues and topics that affect men. Once they allowed the women to come in there, that pretty much kind of tarnished it from there. So I kind of fell off once they started letting too many women come in. That's when I left. I can't speak for everybody else. But as I was stating, you realize that you can't bring people on even though they put you on, because once you've been exposed to the ratchetness and you see that everybody does not know how to conduct themselves a certain way when it comes to panels, when it comes to channels. I mean, yeah, you don't mind sitting there on their platform. That's fine if the ratchetness is happening on their platform or their brand. But once you reach a certain level of success, you're not about to bring that ratchetness over to what you're doing. So that's probably why Kevin Samuels is not bringing these guys on to what he's doing, because even though, you know what I mean, they did, like, again, they did play a role in helping him to get to where he is, but that don't mean he wants to bring that same level of ratchetness that he had been exposed to when he was on the panel, when he was in the channel. That don't mean he want that type of energy or you know, fuckery, you know, brought to his space. Now, he might don't mind giving a fuckery, you know, he wants to do that on his own because he can control it. When you start bringing other people in on your platform, people will tarnish your brand. People will throw off the dynamics. And Kevin Samuels is, even though, like, again, I'm not a friend or a foe, he's smart enough to know if he brings some of these Negroes on the way he's trying to do, they're gonna throw his A game off. They're going to throw his A game off. They're going to bring their ratchetness. Some of them may get to the point, they may get so big headed, they may try to take over his space and his position. It happens. Sometimes you try to extend that olive branch and you allow people to come in and partake in your festivities, and they bring fuckery to the festivities. And Kevin Samuels has been around a lot of these dudes. He's bonded with them. He's got a friendship with them. We all got ratchet homeboys or ratchet homegirls. Like, certain people you can't bring places with you. You know what I'm saying? You may have that one homegirl, you can bring her around for business. And then there's the other homegirl, you can't bring her around for business. She's ratchet. You got the homegirl you can only bring if y'all going to the club. Ladies getting free before 11. Or if some females want to jump you in the club, you could call her, hey, Kiki, you on your way? Yeah, girl, let me know how many razors I need to bring so we can slice these heifers up. You know what I'm saying? So that you have to know certain people not going to fit for where you going. And I think that's why Kevin Samuels has left a lot of these dudes. He let them fall off at the wayside because for what he's trying to do, these ratchet dudes, going to bring their fuckery, you know what I mean, on to what he's doing. And they're going to tarnish, they're going to contaminate now what he's trying to do. Now, yes, we already know that the majority of Kevin Samuels his platform is really based off of fuckery because that's how his channel is growing. You got these low self-esteem, attention-seeking females who are intentionally going on this man's channel, not because they want success, not because they want to learn anything, or not because they're trying to better themselves. They know a lot of men watch the channel, and that's their way of trying to get men to notice them. I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to notice that. They're listening to what he's saying with a grain of salt, but really is boiling down to that's their way of trying to earn attention, because these other websites, like, these dating social media sites, women ain't really getting too many places with these social media dating. So now they're going in to spaces like his, hoping that there are men in the audience, that'll notice them, and that'll be their way of trying to get men to get attracted to them or however. But we know, basically, I'm saying we know that his platform is basically surrounded by fuckery. But the reason why he's probably not putting these other guys on, because when you are a one-man band, you can control your platform better. You can control your algorithms better when you are the only one that's regulating and running everything. When you start trying to be nice and picking up people, it's kind of like, I'll say it like this. Kevin Samuels, he did what a lot of dudes from the hood who finally get on the success and they move out the hood. Like you got like a lot of these, like Master P, entrepreneur, CEO, businessman. Once he reached that certain ladder of success, he did not bring nobody from the bottom from New Orleans with him before he started No Limit Soldiers, before he started his record company, before he started all these different business adventures. He stated that he had to move out the hood. He could not bring those hood Negroes with him anymore because he realized that going back to the hood, bringing guys from the bottom, when they was thugging and all of that, he realized I cannot bring that with me. I'm on a whole nother level. I'm not going back to the streets. He moved in the white suburban neighborhoods, and yeah, you had a lot of brothers from the bottom who started out with him, called him a sellout. They called him you know, a newfound Negro and all this and that. I'm sure a lot of people in the hood resented Master P when he moved on to bigger and better things. But Master P knew in order for him to continue to grow and be successful, he could not be in the hood anymore. Now, his brother, on the other hand, C Murder, wanted to stay true to the hood. Look what happened. Every time black men try to stay true to the hood, and they bring the hood with them, or they stay in the hood, look what happens. Look what happens. C Murder ended up going down for a charge, which to this day everybody knows he didn't do. And he was loyal to the streets. C Murder. And if y'all didn't check out the documentary, I recommend y'all view the C Murder documentary. It is very interesting, I tell you. I learned a lot through watching that documentary, and I realized why so many black men who have reached a plateau of success, like Nipsey Hussle and Tupac and all of these men who have broken bars, and have reached plateaus that a lot of men in their shoes would have struggled to reach. A lot of these guys tried to stay true to the hood, but the hood didn't stay true to them. C Murder was one of those guys that tried to stay true to the hood. He was still living in the projects as a millionaire. He was still going to the clubs in the hood, and guess what? When that shooting went down in that hood club, guess what? They went after him. The law went after him, because he was the only man in the hood at that time that had value as far as his position, as far as his success. And when it all boiled down to it, that he was the one the law went after. And guess what? A lot of the people in the hood to this day know who really killed that young man in that club. They know who did it. That same hood that he was true to, guess what? They was not true to him. None of them Negroes came forth and said, C Murder didn't do that. I was in the club that night. I saw what happened. None of them came forward. And this is the reason why Master P said he kept riding his brother, kept getting on him and telling him, man, you need to come out that hood. He said, no, C Murder wanted to stay true to the hood, and that's what happens. Even Steve Harvey, and I can't stand Steve Harvey, but he does say some things. He does kick knowledge for the most part, and he stated a lot of people, gave him heat for, now you don't want to have nothing to do with the hood and this, that. He said, you damn right. I don't want nothing to do with the hood. You done forgot where you came from. Yep, I sure the hell did. And I don't want to remember where I came from. I don't want to remember roaches. I don't want to remember rats. I don't want to remember drive-bys. I don't want to remember none of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I do think sometimes people have to be humble. You know what I mean? And you can leave the hood and want to better yourself, but at the same time, you still have to remain humble, because you have to realize once upon a time, you was in a struggle. And you have to always remember that. But that may be another reason Kevin Samuels is not trying to bring nobody on. When you start bringing the hood to where you are, you know what I mean? Sometimes the hood can contaminate or tarnish your success and everything you're building. Kevin Samuels know a lot of them guys in the Manosphere are straight hood, and they're just as ratchet as the black women they complain about. He is not trying to put them on and bring them on his platform where they're cussing and yelling and screaming and doing all that over the top stuff. I mean, you have a lot of these men that are doing that now. They going off, they yelling and screaming and angry and upset with this man because they cannot understand, well, how you done moved on, and you using our talking points, you using our viewpoints, you use that. Just your character, the way you acting now. I see why he wouldn't want to put you on. I see why. Some people, you have to leave them where they at. You can't bring them on to what you are doing. Again, I'm not doing this video because I'm a friend of Kevin Samuels or I'm a foe of Kevin Samuels. But I will say this. A lot of these grown men need to get out their feelings. Okay? Kevin Samuels does not owe y'all anything. All right? Because truth be told, had he not climbed the ladder of success, y'all know good damn well y'all Negroes would not kill. If he was still on your platform eating off your plate of food, you would not care. You would still be treating him like a house nigga. Y'all would still be out there picking cotton together. You know what I mean? You would not have cared. But once people reach a level of success, people look for you to return the favor. That's the only reason why a lot of these guys are triggered with Kevin Samuel's success. Because they didn't expect his YouTube career to flourish as quickly as it has. And it happens, y'all. That is the chance you take. Be careful putting somebody on your job. Be careful putting somebody on your ideas. Be careful putting somebody on your platform. Because if that person were to outshine you 2, 3, 4, 5 months from now, would you be able to handle it? If that person reneged and did not follow through with everything they promised you, would you be able to handle it? And the truth be told, that's why a lot of content creators are rolling solo now. A lot of them, they're not doing big panels anymore with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 people on, because out those 10, it could be that one that could outshine a panel. A lot of content creators now, they're not showing the same type of love they used to. They're not allowing a lot of people on their platforms and panels. A lot of people are being a one-man band or a one-woman band, because let's face it, when you start bringing other people into what you're doing, it can get messy, because you have all these different personalities. Not only you have these different personalities, you got different people coming in with different motives. Some people are on your platform because they really want to help your channel grow, or they really just like collaborating with you. Other people are on your channel because you got over 100,000 subscribers. They want 100,000 subscribers too. And only thing I will say is this. Any other little hang up I have regarding the situation is that you got all these guys coming out the woodworks now, giving Kevin Samuels shout outs. They're giving Kevin Samuels all type of recognition on their platforms and channels. And a lot of these guys were men that did not rock with him when he was not as relevant now as he is then. Now, those are the ones I pretty much give the side eye, because I'm like, come on, dude. I mean, you didn't even know this guy. You had nothing to do with him when he was just a kid sitting in the back of the classroom. But now that he's the instructor and he's the boss as far as Manosphere, is concerned, now you got all these, guys simping. It's a lot of a lot of Kevin Samuel simping dudes that's putting this man's name in the title. They shouting them out, showing them love. I'm like, okay, but where was the love when he wasn't that successful? You know what I mean? So you have a lot of these guys too. You have the haters, and then you have the simps. And it's just a prime example of, how people, you will really get to see people for who they truly are once a person has reached a certain level of success. Once a person has gained success and notoriety, you will get to see people for who they truly are. You will really get to see people for how they move and how they operate. All the phoniness will become transparent once you reach that level of success. But again, before I wrap it up, Kevin Samuels does not owe it to any of you guys. He does not have to shout y'all out. He does not have to sign y'all sign off on a book. He does not he don't owe y'all any of that. Y'all took the chance to put him on, and because the man has progressed and he's outshining your platform, he's outshining your success, because that's really what it boils down to. It's envy, it's jealousy. You got a lot of butthurt, grown men, and it amazes me because you have grown men that are acting like black women that they are constantly ridiculing and putting down. Black women, we're constantly being told we're haters. We don't like to see black men excel. We don't like to see black men do great. But I've seen the biggest haters of black men are not just black women. I'm starting to see there's more black men hating on other black men. Y'all sit up here and talk all this trash about brotherhood and save yourself, SYSMB, whatever the hell y'all call it. Y'all pretend y'all got all this love for one another. Y'all pretend y'all on the same accord. Y'all act like y'all have this loyalty to each other as black men, but the loyalty goes out the window once somebody gets successful and they don't put you on, they don't give you a shout out, they don't write a book putting your name in it. All of a sudden, all that loyalty, all this brotherhood bonding, this bromance, whatever the hell y'all want to call it, all of that goes out the door. So, again, that's just an L that you have to accept. You take a chance when you put somebody on. And this is just an example to everybody. If you're a content creator and you have people on your panel, make sure you treat those people right. Make sure you know what I'm saying, you give them that level of respect, because these same individuals could turn around, become successful, grow into something magnificent. They can grow into something great, and they're going to remember how you mistreated them. They're going to remember how you dogged them before they became successful. So you got to be mindful how you treat people, because you never know how people are going to come up. You never know how you're going to progress. Now, I will say this. Sometimes when you don't return the favor and your success fizzles out, you have to remember there's something called karma. So Mr. Samuels also has to be careful if he did step on a lot of toes to get to where he's at, and he does not return that love back, because at the same token, he never knows when he may get in a situation, and had he kept some of the guys that was loyal to him during his duration when he wasn't as successful, it can possibly come back to bite him, but in this case, I really don't think it is. I really don't think he's going to have to really suffer the repercussion from not putting any of the guys from the Manosphere on. I really don't think so, because a lot of these guys have mistreated a lot of their brothers along the way. A lot of these guys have looked down on their fellow brethren. A lot of these guys, pretty much did a lot of salty things behind closed doors, but they're not going to tell that. They're going to make it seem like they was these upstanding, loyal individuals who are not getting the love in return that they put out there. So in this case, I really don't think, him not giving them that opportunity to be brought into what he's doing, I don't think he's going to lose anything by keeping them excluded. He doesn't need y'all anymore. That's the only thing I could say. He's a free man. He done escaped the plantation. He does not have to be under y'all slavery anymore. He does not have to ass kiss or whatever he had to do, in order to stay in y'all good graces to get to where he is. He doesn't owe y'all anything anymore at this point in time. So anyway, I just want to give my opinion on this, because I'm just noticing so many guys are so angry with this man. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? I've never seen so many grown men be so angry and so upset. They're ranting. They're doing 3-4 hour live streams complaining about everything this man is and ain't doing. And I'm like, dude, come off of it, okay? You already got your platform. You're not hurting. You're not starving. Sometimes it is what it is. You can put somebody on and they can become bigger than you, and that's the chance that you take. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get ready to shut it down. It's your girl, Giving Knowledge, Lady Mocha. Represent Mocha's Cafe de Caro. So I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Y'all be blessed.